Christmas Eve in the airport. I hope you guys are having a very Merry Christmas and are warm and with your families. We are warm and in the airport. So you guys know when I'm feeling like I need something, I give something away. So I'm going to give you guys a little something extra, a little more extra love on Christmas Eve. So here is the most requested run review. This is of round 3 when all those arena records were set. And I even put in there a side-by-side of the fast times and the nights that they didn't do so good. And I showed them side-by-side so you guys could see that there is a method to my madness. Hope you guys have an amazing Christmas. I love you, Flomies. Thank you so, so, so much. I really appreciate you guys sharing your time with me, and I hope you have an amazing, amazing, amazing Christmas. Okay, I could not be more excited for this run review. So this is going to be round 3 of the very, very fast runs. So let's check these out in slow motion. Now, I showed you guys before how running your horse up the middle of the arena with a little bit more speed is going to help you to not pull on that outside rein. So you can see here, she's even having to like guide with this hand to the first barrel and just look at that barrel so you have perfect timing. You see she's staring right at it so she knows right where to make adjustments. She bumped here, here, and then again here, just always keeping that forward motion, just little tugs. Do you guys see that? Like boom, 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 little bitty tugs. Okay, she's kept her head down long enough that she's going to miss this barrel just ever so easily. Now, remember the last time we saw this, when we were coming across the pin, we saw her do the, what I call Hail Mary. Now, as we're riding across here this time, we see 2 hands on the reins here, driving forward. You know what? I'm going to see if I can add another video in here. Okay, I can't, but I'm going to later. See how she drove straight up into this barrel, 2 strides further with 2 hands. Ideally, it would be to here, but we're just aiming for that, and then just sitting down and looking back. Now, as she's driving to this barrel, you can see how she's got 2 hands, and you see no Hail Mary. So see this? I'm blowing my own mind right here, okay? 2 hands. Now, she dropped a little later, but she's got enough forward motion that she can see this line right here, and she knows she's going to miss it, even if it's by inches. She's got it down. Now she's just going to rip and roar. Awesome run. All right, let's see. Get Kathy Grimes. All right, and again, I want you guys to see this when these girls come in, all the times that they bump their horses. Boom, 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 boom. It's not one big giant pull, okay? It's just all the time, just asking. So here, you can see Kathy do Hail Mary, and then immediately gives the head back to her horse and looks right down where she's going to be and stays really soft around this barrel. So if you guys can see that, she retracted her Hail Mary, and then she goes on. Now, when these girls know that they're safe, even by an inch, literally an inch, they go on. So that's one thing you guys need to really take into consideration. She gets strongly back to 2 hands, and here she pushes way further up into the hole than normal. Little bit of a Hail Mary, and then immediately releases it. And right here, that horse is always going to step off like that. That's how this horse goes. And it should be a tip to you guys that if you have one like that and that thing's clocking, leave that sucker alone. Let it clock. All right, let's see this fast run. Now, one thing I do commend is getting a little further up in the alley on this type of horse in this type of setup. It's a lot better. This is way longer than it looks. It looks like it's just boom and you're right there, and it is not how it is. Again, driving your horse up the middle means that you have to use a lot less outside hand, and you see a little tug, boom, boom, boom. You guys see that? Always just a little tiny bit of finesse, never a big strong pull. And this is great. Just driving straight up into the turn. Her eyes are here. Boom, boom, boom. She knows she's clear. And this is the only kind of little Hail Mary she gave us, was like, okay, I'm going to get by this. I'm going to sneak it by an inch. But her timing's so good. She's gone. She's out of there. Perfect. Last minute Hail Mary here And this kind of got her just in a tick of trouble later in the rounds, where this was happening a little early, but you can miss it. I do it all the time by an inch, and then you allow your horse to go on. So, amazing goals. All right, here comes Tacey. The good news is I don't remember any of these rounds, so I'm just doing them as they go. Again, the slight bump. Now, when your horse is not in trouble, you can just sit there and really feel them underneath you. But if you have ground trouble and you drove them way up into that turn, you have bought them a little bit more time to recover. So here's a trick too about whipping on the shoulder. A lot of people can carry a bat in their hand on this side to get them to not pull the outside rein. If you have a tendency to do a Hail Mary or always pull the outside rein, stick a bat in that other hand and get busy with it, and you will not have time to be able to pull that outside rein at all. Okay, I gotta hurry through these. My flight is gonna leave. All right, the Legend. Beautiful down the middle, and just sits there so quietly. You can still see the little tiny tugs that she makes as she goes, just to make sure that she's got it. Really soft and easy. She runs up into this barrel just really straight when she's aiming her hand. You can see it right through the middle of her horse's ears. Love that. So awesome. So awesome. All right, I'm hurrying through so I can get to all of them. I really loved this horse that Brittany rode. I thought this thing was awesome. And again, she's so talented. And you see here, watch her left hand as she goes to bump this horse, bump, and then she gives it right back. And her horse got by the barrel and slipped. And she was still able to just be really quiet with her hands until she was able to let this horse get back on all fours like it needed to be. All the time we're making little tiny adjustments through the entire run. That's why it's impossible to say, well, we're going to bump here, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It doesn't work out like you think. It's like having a battle with an enemy in your head. It never actually plays out like that. So see here, saddle horn and the Hail Mary at the wrong spot is going to make this barrel go down. So what you want to do is ride two-handed up until your leg is at the barrel, and you'll get just that 3 inches that you need. Let's see. Sorry. Let's see what went wrong here. Okay, now see from here, you can see Sydney's hands are to the outside. If you have a horse that drops in, you can just stare at the third barrel and do not allow your eyes to come off the third barrel, and you'll be able to aim right down the middle. She also had some major problem with her rein, like maybe her hand was hung. You can see her trying to get that hand out of a place, and then she just had, obviously, a bad way. And again, this sitting down and then asking for that, this early, later on, was fatal for her too. All right. And this is Tiller. This is a tough horse to ride. You have one that's super front-endy. It's so hard to ride them because they just seem to just take so much time, and they just dashboard you the entire time. You can see she's got a bat in her right hand, pushing up, and then right there where you might want to grab the outside hand, she uses two hands. Now what this horse needed was to be running straight, and then she would have bought some time. But instead, when she was asking for the whip, this horse was already turning, and a lot of times when you pick up that inside rein, your horse will turn instead of actually move out. So every time I hear people say, pick him up, I'm like, it just doesn't work like that when you're going 30 miles an hour. All right, let's see this run. Again, you can see, now this horse had a major fall, and will fall again later, but watch, bump, 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 and you can just sit there and allow your horse to start to get its feet back underneath it. Don't panic. It's the hardest thing in the world to do. Beautiful. This girl was a cowgirl right here. That's the only reason that barrel stood up, is she was cowgirling. Now, in the perfect world, you wouldn't banana body. You would run straight with your shoulders, even with this wall. You can do windows and walls to master this. But in a perfect world, she would ride straight instead of being like, ooh, there it is, and then literally anticipate it with her body too. But again, until you've gone through this, had a horse fall down with you at the first barrel with 2 million people on TV watching, you cannot relate. It's very hard. All right, let's go to this next one so you can see here. Hang on. Let's look at it. Bump, bump. And she just did a hell of a job just staying right with this horse. It's not a matter of if this is going to happen to you, but when. And you can really take a hand out of her, or page out of her book with just sitting really still. Okay, again, we see Ivy with the outside rein. I'm totally fine with that, one of the first barrel. But if you have a horse that ducks in, doesn't give you much room, aim further down the pin with your eyes. That'll help you so much. She does a beautiful job. Again, you can see that bump, bump, bump. We all do it. And I think when people fundamentally teach barrel racing, they teach pull, check, bump. They never say, like, adjust every 3 seconds. Adjust, 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 adjust the whole way. That was just a beautiful run overall. All right, let's see Kimmy. Let's see this. She's pushing with that outside. Now, her style is to push down and really lean forward. Sometimes when the ground is against you, it can get you in just a tick more trouble. I have a similar style, so I know for sure. And here we are again. You can see the hand is up here, and the body is bananaed that way. The horse is going to aim this way. In a perfect world, you straighten your shoulders up and shock yourself out of this pattern, and boom, you get by this barrel. Unfortunately, just a bummer. Okay. Let's watch Tiani. This is a good view of being able to see that little bump, bump. And then she just keeps releasing and tugging back as she needs it, but never impeding forward motion. That's what you want. It is a timed event. You've got to have that speed. Now, he slips, and he hit it before she even got a chance to get her leg up. But kudos to her for getting her head up. Now, you've got to look at something to get around it. If you blindly have your head way up here looking off at your third barrel, you're never going to get that. So let's look at it. And you guys can see no barrel in sight, saddle horn, a little bit of the Hail Mary. And what got her was not that, because she had plenty of forward motion. Okay, let's take a look at this. Now we've got 2 different angles. On the left we have round 3. On the right we have round 8, I think it is. Let's take a look, but we do have 2 different angles. So you can see that she goes to one hand here, so on the right, and then on the left she's still 2-handed. We still have this hand here, but she's already on her saddle horn here. So let's look at this angle. She's still sitting way more upright. Here she's kind of leaned down looking in. She's realizing what's happening, and she's one-handed here. She's just released that rein, and she's sitting up way more upright. And you can see her body posture. She's kind of thrust forward. Here she's still sitting really tall. And here we've got her she's already got her head picked up. She knows this has already gone not right. Here she's just looking down to make sure that she can get her horse around this barrel and on to the next one. You see here, she's got her outside hand, obviously. Here she drove with enough momentum, and she's already down to the saddle horn. So no outside hand. His head is toward the barrel. Here you can see his head pointing way out here. Here she's looking right there. She knows she missed it by about an inch. And here we get a completely different outcome on this turn. You can see them side by side. All right, let's go to the next one. This may take me a little while. Okay. Hopefully we have the same angle. Okay, I've got her pretty close. So as you can see, here coming in, Haley's way more in the middle. Now here, she's very much toward this side of the alley. But let's compare them. So as we see here, she gets by this first barrel right here in this point. I'll back it up so you guys can see at the same point where she is. So when it rains, it pours. When you get a little out of position, not only do you mentally check out just a tick, you're stuck thinking about, crap, I wasn't as fast right here. So you kind of check out just a little bit. Even the best of the best, just like Haley. She's amazing. So we see this, she knows like, oh, I'm in the money. And when you do this 90 times a year, you know how fast you are. So see, she's already 1/10 away from where she was before. And she knows it. So here she's 2/10 away. So see how time flies? Darn it. Now here she's about at the same place. Looks pretty identical. She's leaving this barrel quite a bit more conservative. So here she's already pushing forward, and here you can see her booty is right down in the saddle. And she's pushing off. Now, it's important to note where she is in relation to the barrel. When she leaves here, see how it only looks like 2 feet from here to here? And it only looks like 4 feet from here to here. It doesn't seem like that big of a difference. But when you aim across the pin, it's vastly different. So we'll get her backed up to about right here. About here. So she had plenty of forward momentum here to actually grab her saddle horn a little bit early on this right side. Everything looks about the same. And I love her style coming off of this barrel. She's not super, I really, really look down. She's a person that's looking more straight. And that's just her style. It's really, really cool. And I bet she adopted that somewhere after she probably dragged the second barrel down a lot, and that just kind of helped her get by it. Let's watch the difference. As she's coming up into this third barrel, now I saw it while we were watching it. Here she's got plenty of momentum to miss it by an inch, but by an inch is what gets you those arena record times. Here you can see her driving up and then just pushing to the outside, leaning toward the barrel while using the outside rein. It's really hard to make yourself sit up and go forward. It's like the hardest thing in the world to do. It's definitely what you got to do. Let's go ahead and move her where you can see the angles. You end up dropping down and doing the exact same thing as if you have enough position to do that, but you just don't. So you see the outcome of those turns are similar on the backside to what we saw Cassie Mallory. So here we can see the momentum pushes you out this way instead of carrying you on around. So you want to fire way up in the spot. If I could pick a spot to be the fastest anywhere in the arena, it would be into my turns. So that way I could get that room I need to go by the barrel and then come back. So I hope that this helped you guys so much. I hope it was super insightful. It was definitely fun to do. So if you guys want more stuff like this during the winter season, I would be totally happy to do it. You just let me know, comment below. I love you guys, and thank you so much for being Flomies.